What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with another fun-filled vlog here in my home state of Tennessee. And today, you guys, we are checking out another really cool museum. And that museum is the Coke Oven Museum here in Dunlap, Tennessee. Now y'all are probably wondering, Chet, what is a Coke oven? Well, let me explain to you all what a Coke oven is. You see, around the time of the 1880s to the early 1920s, and even going up further in this area, especially the Hamilton County area, Grundy County, they would mine coal from these mountains, and they would bring them off the mountains to a young Chattanooga. But how a Coke oven works is when they bring coal off the mountains by train, they will bring them to what is called a Coke oven. And a Coke oven will burn off all the impurities that is in coal, making it more efficient, making it much better. Great for factory usage, locomotives during the time, and what have you. So today, you guys, we are going to explore the Coke Oven Museum and Park here in Dunlap, Tennessee. So without further ado, anchor down. I really love the entrance to this museum. Look at the size of these, what do you call them? Hose diggers. I'm not sure exactly what you would call them. But I am sure, like, this thing is big enough to fit me inside, which is really, really awesome. Imagine how much dirt and imagine how much coal this thing could haul out. It's kind of mind-baffling if you ask me. But through these gates, they have a lot of interesting artifacts, especially from the mining period. Like, for example, this right here. I'm guessing it was used to go into the mines maybe sometime in the 80s, maybe 70s. I mean, it's obvious it's been sitting for a while because that tree is going nom nom nom. That is so cool. And I'm guessing that they would use this to pour coal with, maybe. Pour coal, or maybe even a, well, no, it's a mining car, all right. You can see the wheels right there. But perhaps even it could be the back tender of a train. And I'm guessing this is a pump of some sort. Looks like it. And again, another tree is eating it. Huh. I wonder what it looks like the other way around. Huh. So I'm guessing maybe they had like some kind of, maybe some type of leather strap that would go around this. Maybe that's how it would work. And I do know that this is a turbine of some sort. Looks like the metal has rusted away. Looks like it would have put out a lot of power though. And over here, we have a couple of old train wheels that are disappearing into the rock, I guess you could say. It looks like this is just another piece from that turbine. And there is also a lot of track that is just laying to the wayside. And I can tell you all why this museum has so much train track. You see, when we go up to these Coke ovens today, you all will see a trail. And that trail used to be an old locomotive trail. You see, they would use a what they call a dinky. And what a dinky was a small locomotive that would run up and down the mountainside, taking the coal cars, pulling them back and forth as all the coal was being shoved into the Coke ovens and being brought out of the Coke ovens. Sadly though, not many of those exist anymore. And it does look like we have the remains of an old coal building. For some reason, I feel like this kind of needs to be out in Utah, Nevada, or Colorado. Kind of like one of those ghost town buildings. Let's go inside. Well, maybe not so much inside, but let's see if there's anything in here. Just a lot of sheet metal and a lot of rust. The Cumberland Coal Corp. If y'all don't know, and this was a really big mining industry back then. And I'm guessing that this probably used to be the display of an old mining cart. Looks like a lot of the wood has rusted, or a lot of the wood has decayed. Kind of wish maybe I could have seen what this used to look like. I take it this used to be another mining car, but it kind of looks like it doesn't really have any wheels anymore. And this one just kind of looks, well, to the untrained eye, it would kind of just look like a piece of metal. Maybe, just maybe, they'll fix this up one day. That would be really, really cool. Now, it might look like a mine or a caved-in mine, but something, well, it could either be real or not. I mean, I did see that it said that it was a display, so maybe, just maybe, it was just a display. But I don't know. I mean, the wood in that is pretty well up. It's pretty well up kept, and it looks like it did go back somewhere at one point. You know, with all those train parts that they have laying around right here, they could probably honestly turn this into an entirely new train on its own. Maybe they're not exactly trains. Maybe these could just be, again, mining cars. So quite possibly that may have been an actual mine. Right now I'm just kind of seeing what they got. This big building right here, the Coke Ovens Museum, not only is this a museum, it is actually an exact replica of the old Dunlap Dunlap coal mining store. On the inside they have a few displays of a few moonshine stills. They do have a few mining cars, a coal miners display. But I really dig in one of these rooms, the moonshine still, or one of them that they do have, is from the that moonshiner show on Discovery. But on the inside in the middle room, they have an exact replica of what the store used to look like. This big giant mill turbine, this actually came from the river not far away. How they found it is the mill used to be in the river, and it was a group of gentlemen who found a millstone. They came up to the one of the guys that runs the museum, and they asked him, hey, you know, if we pull this out, you know, would you like to buy it? He's like, well, okay. Well, they came back with this. And now this is a beastly piece of machinery. You could cut down like a tree and a half with that thing. Just look at the size of those blades. Now, if you got hit with one of those while on the job, that would have not been a good day. And I believe this mechanism was used to, I'm guessing was used to dig up coal. I mean, it's obvious. You can see there's more chains to it that would power it. I think this would sit on the tracks, I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not exactly sure on that part. And this engine right here just kind of looks like it's sitting to the wayside. But all in all, that would have been so cool to see what this would have looked like back when the coke ovens was up and operational. Dude, I was walking up here and look, there is a big giant caboose here. Oh my goodness. Now there is an interesting story why there is a caboose here. You see, back in 1999, 2000, when the state, I believe it was the state, went and tore up what was left of the tracks here in this area, this was the last caboose that ran on that line. And from what I was told, they were very, very lucky to get this caboose up the mountains. You see, these tracks, they were on their last limb. They were about gone. And these tracks right here, those are probably the only thing left of what was the old coke ovens, or the railroad that used to run through where the coke ovens were. To the untrained eye, it looks like just a regular caboose, but knowing the story behind this caboose only makes it that much more awesome. Now, to come to what we came out here to see. Along this trail right here, this is the old coke ovens of Dunlap. This is where many gentlemen from around the surrounding areas would throw coal, like unpurified coal, into these holes, and they would burn out all the impurities. And what you see that looks like a trail now, this is where the old railroad bed used to run. And it looks like you can go inside one of them. Some type of shortcut, it looks like. And it looks like a lot of the trees and a lot of the bushes have taken over. Not many of these look like this. Over the course of the last few years since they were abandoned, people have come through here and absolutely just kind of, well, abused the area. Ripped it apart, used stones for different purposes. They really didn't leave anything behind. And now going back to what we were talking about at the entrance of the park in the museum, right here was another part of the old railroad bed. I kind of wish that the state hadn't had stripped this rail bed. I think it was the state. I think it may have just been the community, but how cool would it have been if at least the railroad bed was left? That would have been absolutely fascinating. And it does appear that there is a crossway. Very green. I imagine this probably must have been a shortcut between the coke ovens to get back and forth. Not far. I think it was, I forgot what the mountain was, but there were a group of guys that had been drinking one night in downtown Dunlap. They went up to the mountains to have a little bit of fun. Now, while they were up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere having fun, they came across a dinky locomotive. And these guys, they found a pry bar and they moved this little dinky. They kept on moving it slowly and slowly over the edge until finally, with a great collapse, these dinkies fell over the side. Now, the gentleman who told me this story at the museum, he and his people tried finding it, and they couldn't find it. Mainly with the reason being because it was in a gulf area. There was nothing but sheetrock that had fell onto it, or just scrap rock. A lot of chemicals that had come out of the mine that drained out into that little river system. They could not find it, and from what I was told, it probably would have been impossible to find it if there was anything left. And also, I found this out while reading a few of the things that I've read online about this place, is that this place is also a part of the Trail of Tears. Of course, if you hadn't have heard of the Trail of Tears, well, I wouldn't say you're exactly American. But in the 1830s, there was the forced removal of the Cherokee Nation from this area. It was not pretty, and I'm glad that it is still being remembered, just so America does not do it again. I mean, it was very, very bad. I imagine if we followed this, though, we could probably find a few pieces of railroad. Anyway, you guys, that is going to be my vlog for the day. This place is really fascinating. From what I understood, it is opened Saturday and Sunday from about 10 to 4, I think. 10 to 4, 10 to 5. I really, really recommend people come out here. It is a fascinating piece of history, especially if you live in the East Tennessee area. And they do have a really cool festival coming up. I believe it's June 13th. Anyway, I'll put it down in right here. But here in the next couple of weeks in June, they will be having a bluegrass festival. And this bluegrass festival is going to be awesome. I recommend that you come out here. It's really awesome. If you want to support this museum, I really, really recommend it. And also too, they do have membership here as well. Again, if you love supporting history, this is absolutely perfect. But anyway, you guys, without further ado, vlog over.